4-star characters or A-rank agents are usually looked down in comparison to limited characters, for good reasons. If I ask you, what is better, an S-rank agent or an A-rank agent? Most of you will say an S-rank agent without even blinking, especially because in a gacha game, where S-rank agents must be strong in order to incentivize the business model. But what if I told you that in ZZZ, that might not be entirely true? Or at least, for now, we don't know how it's going to be in the future, but there are ways of A-rank agents being way more valuable than S-rank agents. Let me explain. I want to discuss a little bit on the fighting aspect of ZZZ, and before you cara cancel me to oblivion, let me say this very clear. No, ZZZ is not a fighting game. It's an action RPG game that was heavily inspired by fighting games. But there is one particular thing that fighting games implemented indirectly to other games, and ZZZ implemented amazingly: combos and skill expression. You see, in fighting games those two things are a must, because of the competitive nature that brings the fighting game. You must learn and understand the combos of your character, and after that happens, players express that knowledge to style on their opponents. You learn the combos because you need it to succeed. There's a purpose. So yeah, other games, it may have combos, but doesn't make them fighting games. Most of the time you don't need those combos. You can beat those games by brute force or even ignoring some of the crucial mechanics.
As you don't read? I don't like reading, I just want to play a game. Anything complicated, I don't want to deal with it.
And in a gacha game, you can ignore all that by simply pulling out your wallet. But in Zenless Zone Zero, it's slightly different in that aspect, because the mechanics of this game are actually really important and a great equalizer for people like me, who don't spend too much money into gacha games. In Honkai Star Rail and Genshin Impact, like it or not, stats are the most important things to succeed, so you need units with high stats. They do have a level of understanding and mechanics required, but it's not comparable as ZZZ. Stats on Zenless Zone Zero does matter, don't get me wrong, but the execution is less forgiving at higher levels. Depending on the situation, you have combos, attack cancels, or dodge counters that greatly improve your damage output and clearing time, without the need of investing tons of resources in your account. That's huge for a gacha game, because it offers the player the choice of how they want to invest their time and resources. You can refine your mechanical skills to cut the spending. This quickly translates to A-rank agents being monsters in hands of people who know what they are doing. Take a look to this player. He for sure spent a lot of resources into his Billy, managing to have a clear time of 25 seconds on shield defense. But if you look his gameplay closely, you can see this guy has a high understanding and a high mechanical play of his agents. Meanwhile, his other account cleared the shield defense at 16 seconds with Jane-Do, C6 and her weapon R6. One probably spent like $100 or less, and the other spent $2,000 or more for a difference of 9 seconds. So, do you see the hidden value of A-rank agents now? And this is not the only case. There are plenty of videos on YouTube and Reddit of A-rank agents with sick mechanical plays, decimating the hard content in the game right now. Of course, S-rank agents having better stats will make them easier to build initially, and some content will be focused to benefit them, so the game incentivizes you to spend money. And of course, depending on the design, some A-rank agents will have less skill ceiling than others. But seeing the difference of a high skill player and a whale is so close. I'd rather learn how to play A-rank agent on a higher level than spending thousands to have a similar result. I'm not saying the game has a depth of a fighting game or the difficulty of a Souls game. What I'm saying is simple. A-rank agents in ZZZ are huge and a really good investment if you know what you're doing. So don't ignore it. Always look the tier list that people makes in YouTube or websites as opinions and not blind guidance. In the end, do what is the most fun for you and more importantly, the safest for your wallet. I am a Billy Main and see you next time, Proxy.